Hey everybody, I hope you're doing good. If not, eat some ice cream. Well, you know what? If you're doing good, eat some ice cream anyways. Eat ice cream whenever you can. Don't worry about what they say. They say don't eat this, don't eat that, it's bad for you. It's a scam. Eat some ice cream. Anyways. Have you ever seen one of those stickers on a fence or on a window that says beware the dog? Well, the other day I saw one at Walmart for 40 cents. And so I bought it. And when I bought it, I was thinking of one person in my life, one good friend in my life who doesn't really know how to live within his means or within his boundaries and is always kind of acting out a little bit. But it's up to him and I let him be who he is, But I bought him that sticker and I said, here you go, bro, you can put this on your car. And he said, man, I don't even own a dog. What is that supposed to mean? And I said, I'll tell you straight, it ain't about the dog outside. It's about the dog inside, brother. Let me explain. See, we all got this dog within us. Some people will call it instinct. Some people will call it the beast. Johnny Cash actually has a great song called The Beast in Me. Perfect example of what I'm about to talk about. Now, Freud, who I've been reading a lot about lately, and I've talked about the id and the ego and the superego in a past video. And I do firmly believe that now. I believe that a lot of these kill the ego videos and all the other you train your ego and all those videos. That's why I've never done that. And that's why we've talked about not doing that in past videos. But what I'm saying is Freud has a thing where, the id is your dog. The ego is actually the sensible part of you. It's the part that's trying to stay in control. Then you get the superego, which is made up of all the guilt and the programming and the shame and society standards and all that crap that's always yelling at you in the back of your head. And, Freud, his fancy term for it, the id, it fits in perfectly because I'm just going to say it like it is. This dog is a part of you that wants what it wants when it wants it. That voice that's in the back of your head that's like, hey, eat that cake, smoke that cigarette, call that toxic ex, snap back when someone disrespects you. That's the dog. That dog doesn't think about the consequences. The dog doesn't care about who gets hurt tomorrow. The dog just wants what it wants now. It wants to be satisfied right now. And listen, we all got one. We all have this dog, no matter who you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care how holier than thou you are, how spiritually minded you are, how librarian like you are, Christian, I don't care who you are. You got a dog inside. We all got it. It's called the animal instinct if you want. If that's what relates to it the most, then there you go. But the problem is instinct is something that tells you, hey, I got to eat right now, or hey, I have to have sex right now, or hey, I have to sleep right now. That's fine. But when it starts putting pressure on you, that's something completely different. So you can compare it to instinct, but it's not exactly instinct. It's instinct with another layer on top. The id. Some of us can keep it chained up. Some of us, we can't do that. Like my friend, he has to let it run the streets. But the thing is, like I said, make no mistake, that dog is alive in every single one of us. And where Freud kind of said it too is that there's another part, like I said, the ego. The ego's job is basically to hold the leash. That's what the ego is there for. To deal with reality. It's the one that says, all right, I know you want to eat that whole cake, but let's just have one slice so we don't hate ourselves later or have a stomachache. Or you want to swing on that guy who cut you off, but maybe let's not catch an assault charge right now. That one's big in Boston. The ego is like the middleman. It's holding the leash, trying to keep the dog from dragging you into traffic. The stronger your ego, the better control you're going to have over these impulses. The weaker your ego, the more that dog walks you. And let me tell you, when the dog's walking you, life gets ugly real quick. Real quick. And he doesn't care. But it doesn't stop there. There's also the superego. Again, this wasn't about the Freudian thing, but it really plays into what I've been thinking about with the dog the last 2 days. And the superego, this part is tricky. The superego is that like inner voice that you picked up from your parents, your teachers, religion, society, school, whatever. It's the conscious part of you it's the trainer in your head saying, sit, stay, be good, don't do this, don't do that. It's that. It's really easier when you start. You don't even have to believe everything that Freud says about this. You can just start placing those voices in your head, those three arguments in your head, as the id, ego, and superego, and you'll start seeing things a lot clearer. Trust me, I have. The superego, that's the parent voice in there. Now, on the surface, it may sound like that's a good thing because it's going to keep the dog under control. And sometimes it is. But the superego can keep the dog from tearing the place apart on one hand, but there's a part where it gets dangerous. If the superego pulls too hard on that leash, if it pushes too much guilt, too much shame, and too many rules, the dog will fight back. It will build resentment, and eventually it bites the hand that feeds it. Again, take that from a dog that knows. That's when you see people who look perfect on the outside, straight-laced, polite, never out of line. But when they snap, they snap. The dog they've been suppressing will break loose, and it comes out in a self-destruction, addiction, cheating, violence, all kinds of crazy shit. All because the leash was pulled too tight for too long. So here's the truth. Here's the truth about what the dog inside is and what you can do with it. You cannot kill it. Just like the ego, you cannot kill it. You can't pretend it doesn't exist. That is a raw drive. That is hunger. It's part of being a human, being an animal. It's where your energy and your ambition, even your passion, comes from. Without the dog, you'd have no fire. But see, the key is balance. You don't lock it in a cage, because then it just gets mean and desperate. But you also don't let it run wild, because that's when it wrecks your whole life. You train it, you guide it, you learn when to feed it and when to make it heal. I wish somebody had given me this advice 30 years ago. Think about it like this. That dog can be your worst enemy, or your greatest protection. When you train it, it becomes loyal. It becomes strength, energy. It guards your house. It keeps you alive. It gives you that push to go after what you want. But when you let it run you, it drags you through the mud. It chases all the cheap thrills. It bites the people you love, and it tears apart everything that you've ever worked for. Again, take it from a dog that knows. So yeah, beware of the dog within. Not because it's evil, but because it's powerful. Respect it. Learn from it. Train it. Don't ignore it. Don't fear it. And definitely don't let it run the show. Because at the end of the day, you're either walking the dog or the dog is walking you. I love you all. Walk in light.